Hello, everybody. I'm back with your daily lighting critique, and I'm here with Andre, Ashrish, Marlon, and Ronald to take a look at some work. Marlon's got to hop out here soon. We're going to start with him, and then we'll go to the rest. So, let's see. Let's get your image in here.
Yeah. So that reference is Cars 3.
Is it Cars 3? Yeah, because I was saying those shaders look better than the OG Cars. Let's see. So let's take a look at the reference out of the gate. Okay, so one of the things that's really nice about this is that, you know, you've got like, I love like the shadow quality, you've got the car shaders, just kind of an understanding of the space, like the feeling, the spatial awareness, and like you're going back into space, less contrast, less saturation, all that kind of stuff. Same thing here, just like a real understanding that the cars in the middle are taking up the most of the saturation in the scene, so we can like really zero our eyes focus in there. I think I missed the, let's just take a look at the actual animation here. Oh, I didn't know the camera moved. I've never seen that second part of it. That's fun. All right, so this overall, this okay.
I was just going to say, I got it. This was a project I had at CGMA. I got it from there, the scene, and then I did. I changed the camera move a little bit. I did all the textures and everything like that, and I was lighting, composite, look, dev, things.
So I mean, overall, this looks really good. Like first, I always say there's like two levels when you're looking at something. There's that first level where you're just like your gut reaction, like what is it? And then there's the second level, which is like, okay, I've looped it a handful of times. Now I kind of want to dig into some things. So the first instinct is like, I think you're really like, you've created a lovely visual path for the car to follow. And by that, I mean like these, the way that the sunlight's hitting the street and creating darkness in the sides here and really kind of helping us narrow in. And I really like that the car passes into shadow as we get, because if it was really bright here, it would be like kind of jarring and hard to look at. But you've allowed it to pass into shadow a little bit and allowed it to...
that was my plan.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I used flags on all those.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's perfect. I think the car shader looks good. There's one thing about this scene that, and I think like it totally makes sense, but it feels like because again it's an old Beetle dragging a trailer behind it. It's not going to move that fast, but there's something that feels a little bit even more lumbering than I would expect. And one of the things I would just check to make sure that the wheels are actually spinning, because they feel like it feels like it, like I kind of felt it. Yeah, you kind of see it here. It's just kind of sliding. Unless the frame rate is timed up with the rotation, which happens sometimes.
I think it's the frame rate.
Yeah.
So it's Nuke. I used the motion vector pass and did Nuke motion blur.
Yeah.
So 2D motion blur I think has problems with radial motion blur. Right?
It does because it's really just looking for frame to frame movement, like lateral sliding, but like rotation it can, and it's just. Because there was a highlight thing that happened right here, like you can see the tread of the tires, so it might even just be a matter of like, I don't know, but you might want to get some motion blur on those tires, or just like create. You can create it in Nuke by just like drawing a little roto shape and doing a directional blur or something. Now the other big thing that I would So the other thing that I would really love to see is inside the shadows. It feels a little bit flat in some of the components, and where it's feeling flat is in two things. One is the like if I'm looking back over here, there's not a lot of specularity on the walls and stuff, but I think and that's kind of leading to it. Same thing with these bricks over here. Now, one of the things about being some city lighting things that I did to kind of change that was, if you look, if you're like walking around an urban area on a sunny day, this really cool thing happens. So basically, like if you have windows on a building over here, the light will shine down, hit those windows, and refract light on the opposite side. So you get kind of this like grid of like window reflections over here. And so I would try and sprinkle those in. The way that I've done it previously was to do it as a totally separate pass. Like just apply a simple like white. You can do it a couple different ways. Like you can just do like a simple white material, diffuse material to kind of everything, and then you can take some lights with that, like create a grid, like what looks like a bunch of apartment windows with just like caustic like ripply things in it, and then project that using a couple spotlights around the scene, and then you have that in your scene, and you can sprinkle in some of those values in there, and it'll create. I don't know if I had some pictures a long time ago in my phone of that because I was obsessed with getting some more variation in the shadows of a city. But I think that would help. I think that would help out. A couple other things that are really minor, like the saturation of this tree as it passes, kind of stands out to me as kind of as like kind of standing out. So I would take down the saturation of the greens of those. There's something happening to the screen right side at the beginning. Let's see here. There's like, if you watch the edge of this building back there, like something is like there's either a roto moving or something swiping back there. So just watch out for that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like I mean those are like totally minor components, but the overall look of it's really good. I would consider, my eye went up here at the billboard in the back, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but like I think it was just the words on it. If there was a way to get the words off of it, like I would just be focused down here on this guy. And then
okay, sounds good.
One more dumb one.
Yeah, sorry.
Also, this scene doesn't have a driver. I'm realizing now, but if you can,
yeah, it doesn't.
If you can, I would put some windshield wiper streaks on the windshield. That would help a lot. And then
windshield wiper streaks.
You know what I'm saying? Like have like the way that
you'll put it in the spec pass or something, right?
Yeah, the roughness or whatever you got. Love this. The asphalt on the street looks really good. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I painted that one.
Yeah, it shows. Like it definitely is. There's something about maybe. Actually, I think it's okay. If you wanted to go all out, you can make that sign flash, like turn the lights on and off.
I thought about it. I have it. I said I have it. It's nuke composited, right?
Yeah,
so I can do it, and I can put like a frequency on it. But I thought that would take away from the car.
I think it's okay because one of the things because one of the things that's a little bit missing from this, and again, it's the speed of the car and stuff, is like they're driving out of control. Like something's chasing them. They're running from something. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
And so like I think a little bit more. It's the only thing moving in the scene. So I think a little bit more movement energy in the city itself would be
okay.
good.
I'll put it blinking. Well, I mean, I don't really. I wanted to do some dust effects and stuff, but that's beyond what I know how to do right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
I don't do like particle effects and stuff like that. So, and because it's moving, I don't want the comp effects in because of the way it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much.
But okay,
about
I can go back and do those things. So and fix some of those stuff. As for the detail with the shadow, with the detail on the buildings,
mm-hmm.
Could I just do like a spec light and hit it,
sure.
and then break it up with a grid?
I would do it. I mean, I would do a couple things. Like I would also do like the spec pass or like turn the buildings to like metal or something and then render it out.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I would do a combination of things, and like you can kind of. And once you have it in Nuke, you can isolate it to different areas. You can either roto it or
play
use
around with it.
Yeah, you can play around with it a little bit.
Do like a curvature render.
Yeah,
maybe a grid pass render on there, and then
if you can do
like Chrome, and then just put them all together in thing, right?
If you like another really beneficial one for buildings is to get like a Y map, like a height map on it. So like lower at the bottom, you can kind of you can make the color of it a little bit darker. It's
I've been doing that actually.
Oh, cool.
I did that
you got that already. So
using a position map.
Yeah, position map. Position maps.
They were pretty flat. They were pretty flat originally, and I use a combination of the occlusion pass with things to kind of pull it, and I have a Z pass too.
But overall, I want to commend you on like the detail in this. So there's always like this funny moment that happened when you'd be assigned a shot, and you would look at it the first time, and it's always like a surprise. So it'd be like, okay, like I would open this one and be like, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna drive. All right, cool. It's a car coming. All right, great. That's pretty straightforward. No problem. Oh wait, what's happening now? Oh man. Oh, the camera. Oh, I have to light a whole other area. No, like because this is really 2 shots in one. The other cool thing that I don't know if you did this, but like for everyone else listening in, that's great about shots like this is that like I was gonna say one other thing too. When this passes by here, you can use this moment right here to completely change the lighting in the scene. So you can be like, once this happens, you can keyframe your lights to be like, and so because there's going to be a point where it looks like the way that the lighting looks good over here does not look good over here, and you can use that like swooshing effect a little bit more. The other thing
I didn't do that for this one, but I considered it.
Yeah.
For this one, I use light linking and flags, mostly flags.
It's better to not do it, but like just know that's on the table. The other thing, I think there's more opportunity to do more with the depth of field, like to more like be in the camera operator a little bit. So like the foreground's a little bit less in focus here, and then as the car gets closer, like it's keeping the car in focus as much. Like once it gets here, it's like
again that's done in Nuke. So
and so like as it's pulling away, like the foreground would get more out of focus here as you're kind of tracking with the car. Like you don't want to tie it to it because you don't want it to be perfect. Because you want it to still feel like a little bit slow, like there's a manual operator, but just something to think about there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike. Sorry, I gotta run.
Go. Be good, man. That was awesome.
But thank you. This is great. Thank you very much. Bye.
Not a problem at all. All right, cool. All right, well we've got people on live that have stuff submitted. So I'll start with just alphabetically and who's here. We've got Gissela. Gissela, are you able to unmute and say hi real quick? You don't have to. It's okay. But I haven't met you before.
Hi.
Hello, how's it going? All right, cool.
Everything is good. So I am so excited to start this new career.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great. Well, you're off to a good start here. I mean, like, so looking at your reference, it's like pretty straightforward. We got out of focus, sunlight coming in here, shining this way, hitting the character with a lovely little rim light. There's something else happening here. And Andre, you can probably speak to this too, but like there's a lot of like golden light on the center of her face, and that feels like a bounce card to me, or it doesn't necessarily feel like a light source because the light's strong enough, but it definitely feels like there's a golden bounce card pushing some more light in her face because the sun back over here would not reach the right side of her nose unless there's something reflecting light back in there.
And you can see in her eyes there's a little reflection of some
you're
white.
Right. Look at that.
White.
You don't fool us. You got a little bounce card in there. So that's great. So, but what it's doing, it's creating a lovely bit of fall off across the character where it's like bright on the edge, a little bit brighter on this side, and then like the fall off coming over this way. So hopping into yours, I think that like you've got that bright edge and you've got the fall off happening. I think that if it was me, I would put a little bit of an area light like down here and have that shine back up at him to kind of create that like warmer glow right in the middle. Because one of the things that we're missing from him is like the feeling of this one is very soft, very like it's very flattering lighting for a person. It's very soft lighting. It's up front. It's hitting the warm tones of skin And so this skin tone, it's okay like if in this area it goes a little bit more blue, but in this area is up in here, I'd like to see a little bit more orange, a little bit more warmth. And that'll also help get more variation across the hair too, because it'll create some more lighting up in there too. That would be my main note overall, and then it might just be low res, but the character like I'm looking around the eye, it feels a little bit blurry. It might, like I said, it might just be a low resolution thing. So just something to be aware of. Like the character feels a little bit blurry. And then one thing, like I see some nice specular highlights in there. One thing that's nice too is you want to in order to match this, you want to just make sure that you have nice big soft light radiuses, so that it's kind of creating that soft look to it. So with that area light, make that nice and big. Whatever your sunlight is, even though suns are generally like pretty small in terms of the relative size in the sky, the sun is actually quite massive. But once it gets lower to the ground, it actually hits a bunch of atmosphere, and you can see it here. It kind of like the light source is now like this big, as opposed to what it normally is in the sky, which is about like that big, right? So it's getting diffused a little bit, so the lighting's going to be a little bit softer. So I think we can soften the lighting a little bit on yours. But yeah, those would be my main two takeaways. I think your color is spot on. I think that like you're going the right way, and you're definitely like reading and understanding the image and understanding where the lighting is coming from and some of the visual clues that's coming in. It's just like now it's like that other level of not only understanding the way that lighting works, but the way that people manipulate lighting for photographic stills too. Do you have any questions for us or anything else specific about this?
No, it's everything clear. Thank you for your feedback.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem at all. All right, let me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure thing. Just make sure. All right, cool. All right, Ronald, we've got yours as well. So let's take a look at that one. Make sure, because I downloaded it without putting your name on it. I just want to see. Yeah, Tunnel Nightmare. Okay, cool. I did it pretty quickly. Yeah, here we go. All right. So, oh, well, hello, Xenomorph. All right, cool. All right, great. So this is a good. You want to talk through this a little bit?
Yes.
All right, cool. So tell us about your motivation a little bit. Like what is the driving? What's your driving motivation here?
Yes, my initial goal was to try and create some sort of the monster reveal sort of vibe from like horror movies, because you can see the silhouette of the xenomorph, but you can only see the face once the tunnel lights are turned on.
Yeah.
And a bit further down, I'd like to add some animation where when the car is driving towards the tunnel and it reveals the initial silhouette, basically.
That's great. Very cool. Let me just double check here. So just look at the reference here. Yeah, this is a nice reference. So it's something similar to this that you're going through color-wise. That's cool. So one of the things to notice about this is interesting. I have no idea why this is the case, but it looks brighter near the foreground and gets darker as you go back. I don't know if that's a manipulation of the camera, but like, or this image, but that's something to keep in mind there. Okay, so the main things that you've got it kind of happening there too. Look at that, nice. Okay, so first thoughts. I think that we need more variation in the lights somehow, and also if these are going to be light sources, we need them to be brighter at the base. Like we need something in here that indicates that there's an actual, like the brightest thing in the image, like generating the light. For the headlights, you want to make sure to get some gobo maps in there that make it look like headlamps a little bit. And the good thing for this particular scene is that they generally point down a little bit. So yeah, you can definitely get them like this reveal totally makes sense. I like the color and value of the night sky. I think that looks really good. Yeah, so we've got this down here. I think you can actually, this is nice. And I love that it's just like picking up a little bit on the specular highlights there. I love the turn on reveal of this. I think a little bit of depth of field would be great for this one, just like a little bit of out of focus here. Yeah, but the biggest things here, stepping back from it. Yeah, the challenge here is just going to be making sure that those lights feel a little bit different and have some variation in them. Getting this interior texture looks really good. Should I look at the reference here again? Do I have the reference? Yeah. So like that. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking through this real quick. Okay, I see these like how it's kind of bright at the source. A bit of variation in there. Also, it's cool. Let me see if. Yeah, you kind of have it here, but I think you can actually go a little bit darker, like around the core, like directly around the light, and allow it to. I think you can get more variation in how much light is coming out, and that you can do. It's like there's like a lot of light here, and then darker in here, and then it actually, as you go down, it actually gets a little bit brighter. Variation across here is good. Yeah, and I think just making sure that you get some specular hits on these things too will really, because like there's nothing. Like I worked with a xenomorph model at one point, and you really want to like feel that kind of like you want to feel like it's like real sweaty somehow, and it's like drool or something. Like you want to get like specularity in there, and you want to make this feel like a dank tunnel. Like it's not like there's kind of like moisture and stuff in there. So I would sprinkle that in as well. But I think this looks great.
Oh, I see. All right.
It's a good start. It's a very, very, very cool idea, and I love it. Like that you're allowing the lighting to really tell the story and really do the reveal. So that's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right, great. Andre, did you have anything today? Did I miss? I don't think I missed it. Right? You're just hanging.
No, I'm just here for the show.
Okay, deal. We'll try to provide the entertainment. All right, cool. I'll go through the rest now. All right, so we got Gentile. So we got a couple references here. So it's always interesting. Like it's always really hard, like pulling movie stills sometimes, because like this is definitely not the cropping that the film had, and also like I just want to make sure like this one feels like it's a little bit extra contrasty. I know it's probably in one of the more like graphic sequences that they had in Puss in Boots, but like I was want to double check and make sure that this is actually what the film looked like. But if you're pulling it for reference, maybe you're just happy with this image and that's the way you want to go. Okay, so the biggest thing for this one is you want to be able to make sure that we're reading the character really well, and the read happens as like you're laying dark over light, saturated over not so saturated. You have to find like some sort of element to do that. Like I think that one of these references does it really well by having this dark tree back behind the character, and that will allow the brighter elements of the character to pop forward. There's also the aerial perspective, like that atmospheric fall off that allows the darkness of the tree to get lifted a little bit, and that way the black hat can pop forward a little bit. So I think in this one we can kind of need to do the same thing. So a little bit of aerial perspective, a little bit of Z depth space to like make the background less contrasty, a little bit more. So let's do this. So we will just go the opposite way here. We'll take the character and a little bit of darkness, maybe a little more contrast here in the character, and then for the background. This is again like a very super janky way of doing this, but a bit lighter, a little bit less saturated, and allow some of those the character to kind of stand out a little bit. Now, something else is the framing of this is a little bit. It's a little bit of a unique framing of a character. So like it feels like just like her feet are cut off, And normally you'll see in shots that it's either like full body, like kind of waist up, or kind of like just like shoulders and head. So I think that and there's a lot of space up above her head as well. I think I would reposition the camera maybe a little bit closer to kind of help us zero in on the character as well. Because let's just, because if we just, and again, you can just kind of keep it the same aspect ratio. That's good. Let's just make it a little bit wider too. If you had something like this, now we're able to kind of zero in a little bit more closely on the character and really kind of get in on there. Also, her eyes are glowing a little bit green, and that's something that's kind of standing out to me. You also have to watch out. You've got a lot of bounce light happening in here, or indirect lighting, I should say. You're right in there. You see a lot of yellow firing around. I would it makes sense because it's something smaller, but I would actually look at some Lego movie reference to see how they're processing those materials and stuff, and I think that would actually help out a lot. So I think that's kind of where I would start, and then go from there. So reposition the camera to kind of make it more character focused. Make sure to get the background less saturated, less contrasty, doing some of that aerial perspective stuff. And watch out for the green eyes, and take a look at some Lego movie reference for the textures and the amount of bounce between some of those areas as well. Also pay attention to the depth of field in that film as well, because they do a really good job of making it feel believably Lego sized, or Minecraft sized in this case. So good, really, really good start here. All right, Queen Pig. I don't know your real name, so I'm just going to stick with Queen Pig for now. So I love the moodiness and the position of the light. I think your shaping is going really well. I think this is off to a really good start. I think I agree that we need some more of that bounce light in there. And I think actually, and I know I was kind of reading through the notes previously with Sergey, which by the way, I love Sergey. He's great. He's one of my favorite people. But I think that, because it looks like we took away the ground plane to avoid the bounce light coming in. One of the things that this is in Arnold or RenderMan or any of the renderers that have some bounce light in there, it's just putting a ground plane. At this point, we've got a nice bright light coming down here. Just putting a ground plane in there that's not black will allow some of that light to naturally just come bouncing up in there. So I would start by giving that a try. And then the next step would be if that doesn't work, then putting a little area light down beneath the character and bounce some of that light up in there that way. The other thing to point out is the sharpness of the shadows. Depending on the specific mood that you're going for, I would consider softening those a little bit, just because what ends up happening is you create some harsh, some really hard lines around the character, and that can be a little bit difficult to work with. So unless it's a specific mood or you want to create those slashing lines, for the most part I tend to soften the light by increasing the light's radius in order to get a little bit of softening on that shadows a little bit. All right, cool. Yeah, that's the bounce light by adding a ground plane or an area light, and then just creating some softness in there. And I know that you've got reference in the Discord, but just the next time you post, make sure you've just sprinkle in some reference there, just so I have a goal, so I can make sure that I know the visual goal for this particular one, and that way I'm not telling you that to soften the light when really you want a really slashing light effect. So that's going there. All right, Rewya. So we've got the reference here from Pennywise, and then we've got Sir Desmondus Rotundus. And I know that you were working through some of these, some of the rim lighting and then some of the under bounce lighting stuff. And I think that that's coming along really well. The one thing I would like for you to focus on for the next iteration would be specularity. So one of the things that makes this bat, or makes all bats a little bit creepy, is that they have leathery wings that in order to feel that kind of leatheriness, like you really need to feel that specularity in here and here. Like the chest in here is starting to feel a little bit flat. So like feeling up like some of that like specularity and just like getting that like shimmeriness in there would be really good. And then a little bit on the face as well. Like you can see it here, like look at the specularity in there, like coming up the face, the little specular highlights in the teeth and on the eyes. It's just like it really, really adds to the creepiness level of it. I also like that in this one we're getting a really good complement of colors, like the red bouncing up underneath the hair and the blue light in here. I think that we can push that a little bit, like push the saturation of the blue just a little bit stronger. And again, same thing with the shadow sharpness. Like I'm seeing some sharp shadows here, and then down along here. I think you can soften up those lights a little bit by increasing that light radius just a touch. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got. Go through a few more. Okay, so when we talked about, is that all of them? All right, I think that's all of it today. If I missed you today, again, I'm just catching up to where Sergey left off the last time. Please let me know. Again, and the cadence will be Tuesday, Friday, I'll do these video critiques. Then Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll do written critiques. But just either way, just keep posting your work, and I'll keep critiquing them. And if I missed anybody, please just like at me or repost it again so I have it for tomorrow. So anything else? Any questions before we break for the day?
No, not really.
All right, cool.
At least.
All right, great. All right, well, I will sign off for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all soon.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Bye, take care.
Thank you.